Let's start off with some terminology bingo. So these are the kind of terms that you may well have seen floating around or heard about. I'm just going to try and disambiguate some of them initially. You don't need to memorize these, but it's good to know what's being talked about in the field. So LLMs are large language models. That's the umbrella term for any time you are using a chatbot, an AI tool, there is a large language model or LLM powering that tool. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and even I can't remember that without looking it up, but that is a specific model. That's a specific LLM that was developed by OpenAI. So OpenAI are, I'm going to use my pointer, OpenAI are the company that have made lots of noise around AI tools. So they've developed GPT, and there are different versions of their GPT. Ones that are currently out in the world are GPT-3.5, which powers the free version of ChatGPT, which is coming on to next, and GPT-4, which is currently their paid version, which is an improved model and can do lots of other things. ChatGPT is the tool, the web-based and app-based tool that is powered by GPT 3.5, GPT-4. That's the tool that kind of made big waves, that gained, or I think it was something like 1 million or 100 million users in 2 days. I think it might have been 1 million users in 2 days. Apologies, I haven't got that in front of me. Check my references, don't take my word for it. Microsoft Copilot is Microsoft's offering in the field. But interestingly, because Microsoft have a large stake in OpenAI, Microsoft Copilot is powered by GPT-4. So we are actually using, when you're using Microsoft Copilot, you are using a model that has been built by OpenAI, just for context, okay? AI hallucinations are essentially when AI makes things up, and we need to be wary of those. I'm going to give you some examples, historical examples, and we do really need to be cautious of what LLMs are telling us. They come across as being very confident. And even now, like we'll see with MS Copilot, they include references. But what I'm starting to see, or what I've noticed recently, is the answers are including references, they're citing their references, but then what they're stating in their answers are not backed up by the references. So we have to be very careful with that. A prompt is essentially the text that we enter as a user into a chatbot. And prompt engineering is what we could call optimizing our inputs, refining our inputs to get better outputs. So that goes on to the next slide. Prompt engineering really is designing our inputs for optimal outputs. So it's thinking about what we're putting into these chatbots, these AI tools. So there's a nice kind of explanation or example here from a paper, very recent paper out this year. So for example, if you ask an LLM, or if you ask ChatGPT to explain gravity, it will give you a particular example. But then if you ask it to explain Einstein's theory of general relativity, even though these topics might be very closely related, and actually you might still be interested in the same answer, you're providing more context, you're providing a level of specificity that will adapt or will influence how the answer comes back. So if you ask a question in a more complex way and refer to more complex topics, it's more likely to bring back complex topics for you. So we can adjust our prompting accordingly.